All right, so I'm sitting here in my living room and sitting here with a friend. You can't see. She's on camera, so if you see me gawkle or cockle, it's probably because of something we're laughing about. But I wanted to talk about something that I think is really, really prevalent for even such a time as we are in right now. I know this issue is coming up, if you even want to consider it an issue or however you want to look at it. It's happening, especially with people being at home or whatever. I'm sorry, at this point, you're probably like, what is she going to talk about? I want to talk about singleness and the choices and the mind and how God plays into it, if God plays into it, and making good choices and bad choices and things like that. Now, before I jump straight into it, just bada bing, let me first share. Let me make sure you know my correct backdrop before I go into it. One, yes, I'm currently single. I wasn't single, and not at the beginning of the year. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to be married at the back of. Anytime I talk about anything, I am absolutely transparent. Don't really have much to hide. Even the things I hide, I'm not too much worried about it. Should it ever come to the light, because the God that I serve, like, I find freedom in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, can't nobody condemn me, and I'm not doing anything on purpose consistently to be out of the will of God. I made bad decisions. I made horrible mistakes. I believe, I can even say that I feel like I've messed up, people's lives over situations that I make. Now, that can be really harsh because people will say, everyone is in control of their own thing. But that's something, I'm not condemning myself. I used to, but not anymore. But just the backdrop, yeah. Supposed to be married early in January. Decided, that was not a good decision, because I prayed about it. I fasted about it. And I realized that it wasn't the time, and quite possibly not the person. And that was hard, because you, as a single person, a person who was single for a while too, you want to be married, right? You grow up, at least in my family, you grow up, and it's like the thing to do is, you know what I'm saying, grow up, get a good job, get a good education, be married, have some children. Boom, boom, life is over. Oh, and have a relationship with God. So, I got to this point. I remember being so excited. I'm like, yeah, it's about to be there. I've worked so hard. I'm finally a doctor, all this. And now it's coming into fulfillment. I'm about to get married. You think different. Everything is different. But at one point I had to use wisdom, and I had to say, hey, ain't nobody else gonna have to live with what's happening except for me. You know what I'm saying? No matter what I want to put out there, you the one who got to live with it. Can I just take a pause break? I just want to pause right here and say something. Listen, when you make a decision, don't you make that decision for nobody else. Don't do it. Don't do it for clout. Don't do it for show. Don't do it to fulfill what other people believe you should be doing, because it's you that got to walk around with that thing, sitting with you, riding out with you, looking you in your face every day. You just got to come to a point where you become free from people, free from what is it that's telling you how your life should be right now? What are you basing that on? Like, I ain't gonna say my age, but when you get to a certain age, you should be dropping kids. You know what I'm saying? You should have a certain job. You should be in a certain circle, have a certain amount of money. Like, whatever you got going on, what defines that? What is defining success for you, right? Now, I had a real talk with God, and I'm like, God, like, I would love to have a family. I'd love to be married. I would like to serve in my home and just have just lovely home and have children, especially with how I grew up, not being able to see and experience that in a loving and a close way. So I felt like I was getting ripped off. I'm like, God, I didn't get it when I was younger, and now I'm older and I'm still not married. Man, I'm being tortured and all this great stuff. I went through my whole ordeal where I was trying to convince him and barter and all that great stuff. But when it comes down to it, I know I kind of went off, but I am still in there. I went off, but I'm still in. I just wanted to say that, whatever is defining your success, make sure. And again, I'm a Christian. I study the word. So a lot of what I'm saying, that's where I'm speaking from. I don't know how to speak from anything else. Make sure it's based on the word, on the relationship with God, and not based on not what media is portraying. Because according to media, you meet at about 5 minutes and 37 seconds. You get married around 35 minutes. Right? And then you sleep together between that 5 minutes and that 35 minutes, and you have kids at about an hour and 15 minutes. So do not confuse media with, real life. But here's what I want to talk about. It took me 6 minutes to get to this point. All right. Singleness. Ooh, child. Depending on your view of it and how you see it and how you experience it, it can cause you to respond and react in good ways or in bad ways with a situation. I almost want to share this personal story, but I'm thinking. I got to think real hard. I'm going to come back to it. But when you are single and you have made up in your mind that, hey, I need to be in a relationship because that's what I need to be. Maybe your reason is that, hey, I want to be, I want to have camaraderie with somebody. I want to be in connection. I want to have someone that loves me. I want to, blah, blah, blah. So people have so many reasons. Hey, I'm lonely. Hey, that's not a good enough reason to be in a relationship. Hey, I'm lonely. I need somebody. That ain't good. As a matter of fact, can I even tell you this? You might think I'm even crazy for not saying this. I don't think you're supposed to get married or get married because you love somebody. I think you get married for purpose. I think that it's purpose that a marriage should be based on. And that's the root thing, because I feel like love can come and go. What holds you together after that. But if you marry and it's in purpose, it's a little bit harder to walk away from that. But in being single, you can find yourself making choices, whether that's booty calls, going on dating sites, people do all kind of different ways to fill that need. And then some people will put on for other people, mostly on social media, that it's one way when it's a whole nother thing at home. They dying, curved up on the floor, trying to figure out life, but you putting another thing on social media. I know several dudes who they'll put up stuff like, hey man, I ain't chasing nobody, I'm not doing this and that. Meanwhile, they dying at home to have them a good girlfriend. Well, the problem is, all right, I'm not even gonna go there, because sometimes my honesty could get me in fire. And so I try to not always, let me just keep it to myself. Let me talk about my own self. So with regard to my singleness, I'm at a point now and I'm like, God, man, I'm doing what I believe is right. I'm studying with your word. I love spending time with God. And sometimes I almost feel that being in a relationship is going to mess with that time. I feel some type of way like, hey, you coming in to take away the time I spend with God. But, I still want that, and I find myself thinking about going backwards, going back to the person whom I know God said, hey, no, that ain't it. And for what? To meet what I believe are desires, intimate desires. And I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about intimacy, the closeness, the conversation, the bond, knowing someone has your back, you have someone's back, being able to just be together in intimacy, in what's the word when two people connect? Social connectedness. I don't really know. But stuff like that. I find myself like, well, maybe I should consider that. I had this guy, and I could talk about this story because this person is not on my social media. There's this guy, right? And I met him online in online dating. Mind you, I had to shut off I had 3 different online dating things. the Facebook one, the BLK, and a Christian one. I shut all them bad boys off because you know what I realized? Ooh, child, that could be work. That's probably for somebody else, but it ain't for me, right? But so I met this person online last year sometime earlier in the year. And to make a long story short, the person is like crazy, right? And so I found out they were presenting as one thing. And you would think that my discernment would allow me to see all that. Nope. And I missed some of that. And I found out that it was like they were a complete facade. Like, guys, if I tell you, you wouldn't even believe me. You wouldn't believe me. You would not believe me. Trust me when I say I could have easily been in a ditch somewhere dead because of whom this person is. And then they go away. They get locked up, in the system, in jail, prison. I don't know the difference. They get locked up. And then they kept calling me. I blocked them. They found a way to reach me. And they're currently still trying to reach me. And I was like, Lord, do I minister to this person? Do I talk to him? Do I encourage him? He has no one else to talk to. He's still trying to talk to me, trying to be in my life. And because where I am in my singleness, I'm like, maybe this is who God has for me, What if this is it? You know what I'm saying? What if this is it? Let me tell you something. Your voids and your insecurities and what you use to measure where you are can try to make you make decisions that you shouldn't make. That made sense when I was saying it, but it can make you just make maybe not so good decisions. So I did want to share out there and mainly to encourage, I can't speak to married folk, I got a lot of married friends, and my married friends keep me grounded because they let me know the real deal when it comes to marriage. So I love them. But just to the single ones, the ones who are at home, like wishing, praying for Jesus to send them their husband, their wife. You looking in every crevice and every corner, like, is it this Facebook friend? Is it that person at the house, the church, the block? Lord, where should I be? Let me have my Rebecca moment. If you don't know what I'm talking about, read the story about how Isaac, found his wife, and then Jacob, and so forth and so on. But let me tell you something. When it comes down to it, right now I'm at 12 minutes. Okay, when it comes down to it, please hear me when I say this. I have sincerely sought God out and been like, Lord, let your will play out in my life. You know my desires. God knows our desires. It says that you seek him and he'll give you the desires of your heart. Seek God out. And he knows your desires already. Now, I still be talking about it anyway, whether or not he knows it. But I always ask myself, Lord, what if it's your will that I operate out of singleness? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if that's my life? And I promise you, I started crying. I was like, no, that can't be it. God, he wouldn't do me like that, but in all seriousness, I always pray that God's will be done, and God give me the strength to be able to deal with whatever he has called me to be and however I'm supposed to be that. I say that to encourage you, even where you are now. I know they say in your singleness, make sure you're prepared, doing everything you need to do to be ready, and this, that, and whatever, all that is great. When it comes out to it, don't make a decision based out of a place from void. Don't make a decision based on false perception and false success and how you look to us. I'm telling you, I got so many ghost followers. It's like at least 35 people right now watching this video that would never say anything to me. They will follow me. They will watch my videos. They will watch every post. Yeah, I'm talking to you. They'll watch everything and not say a thing. And you don't know who's listening and who's watching and what they're experiencing in their home. You know what can I tell you too? You don't know who might like you. Somebody who you don't even know like you and won't say nothing to you. out of fear. And then you have those who will say something to you, but their life's so screwed up, they can't get it right. They just can't get right. Yeah, you know what my prayer is? I pray that all singles, that God reveals to you your purpose, your mate, who you are, who you're called to, if you're called to anybody at all, and that you can find peace with wherever you are. That's easier said than done. Trust me, I'm definitely living it, because I didn't plan to be single right now. I don't know what month we're in. What is this, April or May? We in May right now. I didn't plan this. Right now, I was about to say something inappropriate, so I just stopped myself. But I didn't plan to be where I am right now. But am I happy with how I got here? Nope. But what I do know is that the plans that God has for me is good, right? And it's for hope, and it's to have a good future, and it's not for disaster. So know that whatever it is you're thinking in your head now, it's understandable, and people experience it. Just don't make a decision based on a lie. Make sure you know the truth when you make your decisions. All right. And also, pray for a spirit of boldness. I know a lot of my guy friends, boy, the things I've heard, with being afraid of rejection and this and that, and then women who are afraid to be authentic and real because of how you might be seen. Everyone has their things. Like, sometimes I wish I had a boldness where I could go up to somebody and just be like, excuse me, I kind of like you a little bit. You like me or nah? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But I wasn't made like that, But I pray that God's will be revealed in your life. I didn't want to make this video too long, so I am going to stop. I have so much more to say. I don't even know if I said my main points yet, because I'm just sitting here. Usually I have notes in front of me or something. But I did want to encourage that person who is at home who really wants it, but you don't know how you're going to get to it. All right? That's the person that I want to encourage. You want it, that family, you want that spouse, all that, but you just don't know how in the world it's going to happen for you. I almost want to say I want to prophesy, but I feel weird when I say that on camera. I only say that in my prayers and when at home, but I do believe that that your desire is what God wants to meet your desire. Stay encouraged. Don't give up. And definitely be kept. All right. Be kept. God is concerned for you. He hears you. And there's a freeness that comes with your truth. Stop holding on to so much. Why don't you just be truthful? I don't know, try that out. That might work for you. They say the truth sets you free. You see what you want, go and talk to it. The worst that can happen is you can get a no. You can get a rejection. Pray about it and seek God out. I said all that to say, like I said, is that singleness is not so bad. And if it's tearing you apart the way you thinking right now, and I know I have to feel led to share it, because no way in ever do I want to come on here and just be talking about singleness. And I do not like to speak unprepared. Like, it must be exactly planned out, and it must be I need to have Bible notes with it. Like, I'm very particular now when I come on social media, so I know somebody needs to hear it. I hope that 1, 2, 3, 4 person, whoever needs to hear it, hears it. Shout out to you. I hope you got something from it.